Hello there guys, and welcome to this Explain 11 video. Today we're going to be visiting FS Flying School 2018 for Explain 11. This isn't the first time we take a look at FS Flying School. I have reviewed the 2017 version sometime back on the channel. The 2018 version brings in additional features to your flying experience in Explain 11. Amongst other things, the 2018 version of FS Flying School provides you with weather information as well as an autopilot tutorial. You can purchase additional upgrade packs for voice commands as well as special treatment of several aircraft, which we will take a look at later on during the video. We are currently situated at Minuteman Airfield in the United States, and for the purposes of our video today, we're going to be taking off from Minuteman Airfield. We're going to make a right turn and land at another nearby airport to expose the features of FS Flying School 2018. The FS Flying School user interface has not changed from its predecessor. It offers the same great features, and for those of you who are not familiar with FS Flying School, let's take a quick look at the different features. The first quick start menu here gives you some tips on circuits, visual approaches, ILS approach, and the quick starts. This is a good place to start reading about FS Flying School and understand how to operate your aircraft to get the maximum benefit of FS Flying School. The pilot is where you configure your pilot name. You can select an image if you like, and then you can there is a feature here to say automatic detection setup of cruise mode and landing mode. So when you actually reach a steady altitude for a short while, FS Flying School will automatically detect that you are cruising, and it will set the aircraft mode to cruising, and then when you begin the descent, it will automatically know that you are now probably landing. The sound setup is gives you a lot of different features where you can have a background chatter, background humor, monitor the weather, monitor the autopilot, VOR, NDB advice, and so on and so forth. Now, my recommendation is that you disable the background chatter and humor and maybe put in monitor weather. If you want to receive advice on the autopilot usage, you can turn on the monitor autopilot, VOR, NDB advice, and so on and so forth. I'm going to say monitor use of flights, monitor nav1 VOR, monitor crosswinds. When you're actually doing the flight, I recommend that you only turn on the things that you want because it can get very chatty. So I'm going to actually remove the background chatter here. You can also select the instructor voice, so you can select either Mr. Smith, Mr. Mitchell, or Miss Aviatrix. This is what Mr. Smith sounds like. All right. Flight plan. Again, you can read the flight plan from the Explain 11 flight plan folder. You can load a flight plan. You can clear or use real airport data. Flight parameters. Again, you can set up the transition altitude, of course, in the United States is 18,000 feet, so we'll leave that alone. But you can generate the runway data here every time you install new scenery, so that FS Flying School will know where you're flying from and will have access to the airport elevation information and so on and so forth. The aircraft tab here or panel is where you select a few more options. I'm going to go ahead and select monitor the engines and monitor all the lights. And you can also adjust the instructor volume, and you can disable the instructor altitude calls if that's what you choose to do. The logbook is a good place for you to go and take a closer look at how you performed during your flight. So it will give you a lot of information about how well your pitch was, your takeoff, landing, your bank, everything that you do. FS Flying School will record and give you advice on whether it's praise or constructive criticism. As you can see here, there is a ad that says new Baron 5A detail pack for the FS Flying School 2018 for Explain. And this Baron is I believe it is the Coronado Baron 5.8. if I'm not mistaken. You can always visit the FS Flying School website for more information. And let me tell you, those packs are quite fun. I'm not going to go through any of them in this video, but if you guys are interested in a more detailed video of one of those aircraft, please do let me know. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to connect FS Flying School.
FS Flying School connecting.
FS Flying School 2018 is now connected. So let's go ahead.
It's a good idea to check the correct function of your elevator, ailerons, and rudder.
Okay. Battery on.
Remember that if the aircraft has been stored for a long time, we must be on the lookout for obstructions or damage caused by insects or birds. Severe thunderstorms generally occur in air masses with dew points above 21 degrees Celsius. That's 70 degrees Fahrenheit.
All right, and nav lights are on.
090, 4000 miles calculating.
And avionics master is on.
Okay, there are clouds present, so remember there are a great number of differences between flying visual flight rules, that's VFR, compared to instrument flight rules, that's IFR. We have to keep a sharp eye on the wind direction and strength today, so let's make sure that when we enter the runway we know its speed and direction, as it may have changed and be different from ATIS.
Okay. Let's go ahead and check our controls.
Let's move your flight control fully forward and fully backward a few times so we can check that the function of the elevator is free and correct. Aileron check complete.
Okay, and let's check the rudder.
4,000 by start.
Rudder check complete.
Right, let's check the flaps.
Flaps check complete.
Let's do the run-up procedure. RPM is at about 1,700.
Run-up complete.
All right, run-up is complete. Bring the power down again. And let's go ahead and turn on the taxi light. And we're going to now release the parking brake and taxi to the runway.
Star 7990 to send by start to 5,000.
Send by start to 5,000, Jet Star 7990.
While we're taxiing, let's check the instruments by making some turns. We need to make sure that the attitude indicator is tilting by no more than 5 degrees. The turn coordinator is tilting in the direction of our turns. The ball and the inclinometer is on the outside of our turns. So we turn left, it goes to the right. We turn right, it goes to the left. The heading indicator is showing the right heading, and the whiskey compass is showing the right heading.
Alright, so here's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to bring the aircraft to a complete stop again. I'm going to set the parking brake. And what we do in order to advance to the next mode is click on Control Shift and
Okay,
C.
you've finished taxiing and are about to take off. Current visibility is 10 miles. The wind is 290 at 6. Runway 21. Runway length is 2,700 feet. Crosswind from the right, so full right aileron raised for the wind. As we accelerate and the controls become more effective, decrease the aileron.
Right, we're going to rotate at about 55 knots.
We're ready to rotate.
Right,
use right rudder to neutralize any yawing to the left. Our best angle of climb speed is 62 knots. Our best rate of climb speed is 74 knots. If we encounter heavy turbulence, we need to be at or below maneuvering speed, and remember this will decrease as we burn fuel. In this aircraft we normally turn with a 20-degree bank. And with a 20-degree bank, we want to begin our rollout from the turn about 20 degrees before reaching our desired heading.
Alright, we're gonna level off at 1,000 feet, and we'll call that our cruising altitude today. And we're about at 80 knots right now. Alright, there we go. Let's go ahead and pitch down. And we're going to start reducing our speed. And let's go ahead and lean the mixture. Alright. Before we begin our turn, I'm going to go ahead and control Shift Z again.
Okay, we've finished taking off and are now cruising. Nice job. If you can keep this up, I'll be rating your flight with a perfect score. Let's cruise between 2100 and 2700 RPM and lean the mixture to obtain maximum RPM above 3000 feet.
What I'm going to do is, there is an airport nearby. We're going to go ahead and land there. Alright, so there is the runway right ahead of us right now. So what I'm going to do is
let's gain some altitude.
Going to change the mode so that we begin the landing. The runway is to our right now. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to instruct FS Flying School that I am landing, or we could actually begin the descent and it will automatically detect that we're landing. So let's go ahead and change the mode now.
Let's have mixture full for landing. Okay, we're about to land.
Left heading 110 vectors towards final.
And we're going to begin our turn now.
35 miles turn. And left heading 110.
That's the runway.
feet.
And we're going to begin reducing our speed as well momentarily. By the way, there are a lot of other features and sound tips that you can enable in FS Flying School depending on your preference. I really enjoy using FS Flying School. I think it's a lot of fun. It gives you a lot of tips on what you've done right, what you've done wrong. Areas of improvement are always available in the logbook after your flight.
We're at the outer marker.
Alright, we're going to continue to descend now at about 500 feet per minute. And I am doing a visual approach, so the landing will be rated accordingly. It will be rated according to, you know, to visual flight rules. And if you do, if you tune in the ILS frequency to nav 1, then it will rate you based on the instrument approach, which is always a nice thing. Right, at this point we can go ahead and extend flaps.
Let's use pitch to control our airspeed and power to control our rate of descent. Based on your nav1 OBS setting, we expect a crosswind from the right with a bearing of 143 degrees.
Velocity 505, descend by start 5,000.
500 feet. We're landing at runway 11. Elevation is 132 feet. There's a crosswind from the right, so use rudder to point down the centerline and some right bank to stop drifting sideways. 400 feet. Remember, you'll flare at about 10 to 15 feet, raising the nose about 10 degrees. Did you know that we're not facing into the wind? 300 feet. At 10 to 15 feet, reduce power to idle and flare. 200 feet.
600 approach, respect the ILS runway 19, 10 down 5, star 25,000. 75,000 miles, star 600 runway 9.
$100 feet. $50, $40, $30, 20 feet, flare, 10, touchdown, crosswind from right, so gradually increase right aileron to full as we slow down to keep the right wing down. Kilo, Bravo, Echo, Delta.
There is definitely very strong crosswind there. The landing was less than perfect, and you will see that FS Flying School will provide that information in the logbook.
Okay, let's slow down to a safe taxi speed. Watch your steering.
Okay, so what we can do is we can taxi now. We can exit on the next taxiway if I can find it.
I rate your landing at 92.59 points. Approach was 60% for the glide slope and 80% for the localizer. Watch your steering.
Alright, let's go ahead and just...
let's turn gently.
let's go ahead and stop here.
349 Delta, cancel star.
There's room for improvement. That flight contained problems you need to work on. Check your logbook. Okay, we're starting a new flight.
Now that we have completed our flight, let's take a look at what FS Flying School has to report back on our landing and flight. So our final landing score was 92.59, and the landing was successful in the following areas. Good glide slope on visual approach, good alignment with runway on visual approach, gentle touchdown, good landing speed, not too fast, we were at 65 knots. Distance from runway threshold on the visual approach was 1337 feet. Landed on the runway surface, thank God. Glide slope held until flare. Good pitch control after touchdown, good pitch at landing, heading aligned with runway, throttle was idle, good controlled final descent to touchdown, nicely handled crosswind. Alright, so the landing included the following problems on the other hand: poor steering after landing, stay on the center line, definite room for improvement. The landing score is one thing, the flight score was 103.84, and this is the areas of commendation from FS Flying School. Smooth turns, nice banking, comfortable G-force, smooth pitch control, flown with an aircraft maximum speed limit, good takeoff steering, rotation was not late, safe taxi speed, smooth braking during taxi, smooth climb during takeoff, winds level near ground, no stalls, no flying dangerously close to stall speed, smooth comfortable descent rate, pitch not too high, pitch not too low, approach speed not too fast, good clearance of obstacles. As you can see, FS Flying School monitors a ton of things to report back to you to improve your flying skills. Flight included the following problems: dangerous taxi turns, that's probably after we landed, these cause discomfort and stress. Excessive speed at low altitude, several complaints have been filed. definite room for improvement. Again, it's a really wonderful application. It's both entertaining and very educational. Highly recommend FS Flying School. As you can see, FS Flying School offers additional packs here: the FS Flying School Voice Pack, FS Flying School Baron 5A, the FS Flying School Cherokee 140, and the Douglas DC-3 packs. I highly recommend that you try before you buy, and FS Flying School gives you the opportunity to actually demo these packs before you make the investment. A great application and quite entertaining. One closing remark before we end our video today: FS Flying School 2018 requires the XPUIPC connector. I hope I said that correctly. In order to connect to X-Plane 11, links to that will be provided in the description section of the video. I hope that you guys have enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it for you. Until next time, please take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.